Hello everybody and welcome to Perek Lamed Gimel, that's chapter 33 of the book of Shemot. And in this chapter we are continuing the aftermath of the golden calf. It all begins with Moshe Rabbeinu asking Hashem, Hodi'eni na et drachecha, show me your ways, after he had seen God had forgiven the Jewish people for the sin of the golden calf. And Moshe is up on Har Sinai asking Hashem to forgive the Jewish people. And Hashem tells Moshe something very disturbing. And he says to him that since you sinned, my angel is going to go instead of me, instead of God himself accompanying the Jewish people. Now an angel will accompany the Jewish people on their journey to Eretz Yisrael. And the Jewish people will lose that direct connection because of the sin that they had. Of course, Hashem is everywhere, but he's not going to show himself to them as much as before. And Moshe begged that Hashem should come himself, and Hashem did actually agree to this until later on when the Jews came into Eretz Yisrael with Yehoshua. That's when Hashem finally sent an angel. And the Bnei Yisrael heard about it and they mourned about this. And it says that they, some commentaries explain, they took off the special crowns that they got at Har Sinai for Nasav and Ishma, and they mourned about it. Moshe now, because of this, Moshe took his tent outside the camp, outside of the Machana. So he had a special tent, and he put it outside. Here's the camp of the Jewish people. Moshe moved his tent outside the camp of the Jewish people, separate. It was outside of the Mishkan as well, and outside of the camp of the rest of the Jews. Yehoshua was always staying together with Moshe to serve him, to take care of all of his needs. And finally, Moshe begs Hashem, he goes on Har Sinai, he says, teach me your ways. And Hashem says, "V'chanosi et asher achon," I will show compassion whoever I select. And we can't know the ways of Hashem. Hashem's ways are a mystery. We can't understand them. Moshe said, please Hashem, I want to see your face. What does that mean? Hashem is not a person, but Moshe wanted to have an experience of Hashem, to really understand and know Hashem. Hashem told him, Panai lo yero, you cannot see my face. He said, V'ra'isa et achora, you'll see my back. Now what exactly does this mean? Our rabbis spend a lot of ink writing many pages explaining, but basically speaking that just like we look at a person from the back, and if we know them we could tell who they are, or at least we could tell that there's a person there. Moshe wanted to really have an experience of Hashem and know him for real, not only just on faith, of course, and have a real understanding of Hashem. And Hashem said, okay, my face, to fully understand Hashem, no human being could ever know. But to know my back, to know that I exist, and to have an understanding that Hashem is kadosh, different from all his creations, that I will show you. I will show you how I am totally kadosh and removed and different than all of the creations. You'll see my back, you'll see, so to speak, that I am there. You'll know for sure that I am there.
Boys and girls, it is now time for a very silly, weird story to remember this chapter. Perek Lamed Gimel, chapter 33 is chapter MuMmy.
What? Chapter MuMmy? That's ridiculous.
Yes, you see, because M is really a 3, and M is 3, and all the vowels don't count, and the double letter doesn't count. So you have chapter 33, chapter MuMmy, because the 3 flipped on its side and turns into an M.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, you see, Moshe Rabbeinu asked God to see me, and God said, you can't see me. I am wrapped up like a mummy. Ha 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 ha.
What? That's ridiculous.
Chapter MuMmy. And then Moshe moved his tent outside the camp, and the Jews really wanted to see Moshe, but Moshe said, no, you cannot see me. You have sinned against God, and therefore I'm going to put an army of mummies around my tent to guard it, so you can't come close. Ooh, spooky mummies guarding Moshe's tent. And one of them's name is Yehoshua. Hi, my name is Yehoshua. I am Moshe's faithful mummy. That's ridiculous. What kind of ridiculous story is this? Oh boy, okay, of course you realize that that's just a ridiculous story. Nothing about mummies in this chapter. Moshe has to relocate his tent outside the camp. Yeshua serving him, and God tells Moshe, you cannot understand my ways, but I will show you my back. I will show you that I am here for real. And that is what happened. Hashem made a special vision to Moshe to understand about Hashem. Hello everybody and welcome to Perek Lamed Daled, that's chapter 34 of the book of Shemot. In this special chapter, a very special event happens. Moshe Rabbeinu goes up on Mount Sinai and receives the second luchot, the second tablets. Well, this is how it all went down. First of all, Hashem commanded Moshe that he should carve out for himself a second set of tablets and come up for 40 days up to Har Sinai to spend with Hashem, and then Hashem will give him the second tablets. Okay, so Moshe Rabbeinu goes up on Har Sinai with the second tablets, and when he gets up there, Hashem tells him, I'm going to reveal to you, because the Jewish people sinned and you have to pray for them, I'm going to reveal to you a special tefillah. And this special tefillah is said every day of the week in the Tachanun prayers, in short. And then on the high holidays, we expand on it, we say it many times, and it's called the Yud Gimel Midot HaRachamim, the 13 traits of mercy. Okay? And we even have a song that you may know about it, that we sometimes sing when the Torah comes out on Shabbat. Hashem, Hashem, Kel Rachum V'Chanun, Erech Apayim, Rav Chesed V'Emet, Notzer Chesed Alafim, Nosei Avon V'Fesha, V'Chata V'Nakei. And those 13 words, including the second time Hashem is mentioned, are 13 midot. A midah means a way of acting. 13 ways Hashem acts towards us with mercy. He acts towards the creations with mercy. And Hashem said, if you need my mercy, which we all need Hashem's mercy, say this tefillah and I will have mercy on you. And that's why we use this as a special part of the prayer. And Hashem taught Moshe the way to pray to him, the proper way of leading the prayers. Okay? And Moshe Rabbeinu asks Hashem to return his direct guidance, that he's going to go with the Jews in the desert and not send the angel. And Hashem says, okay, I will be with you even in the Galut. And then we had a mitzvah that we should not eat or drink offerings brought by Ovdei Kochavim, of idolaters, those who are worshipping idols. To this day, a Jew is not allowed to drink wine handled by a non-Jew. The reason is that in the olden times, and we still have some to this day that do this, they would use wine as part of their service of their idols, like pouring it out or making a toast to their idol, and that act makes the wine considered a idol worship accessory, and therefore we just are careful not to touch any wine that's handled by a non-Jew because of that worry. And there's also other reasons that you can study as well. Okay? Now, Hashem warns Moshe, do not make a treaty with the peoples of Canaan, because it will cause intermarriage and your children will become also idol worshippers. That means when the Jewish people came into Canaan, they were not allowed to make any peace treaties with those nations there. They had to offer them either to become Jews, to accept the laws of the Torah, or to leave, or to fight and be destroyed. Okay, Hashem tells Moshe,
When you come in there, destroy all their idols and their Asherah trees. The people used to plant a tree called an Asherah tree, and they would bow to it, and they would worship it. And Hashem says, reminds them, you cannot bow to any other god, no metal idols. He reminds them to keep Pesach, reminds them to have the firstborn is belonging to Hashem. You have to redeem the firstborn. Observe Shabbat, keep Shemitah the 7th year. Don't work on the farm, and the Yovel the 50th year as well, not to work on the farm. He reminds him about Shavuot and Sukkot, and that all Jews should visit Moshe 3 times a year. And they should not be scared that if they're going to leave their homes, if we're going to leave our homes unguarded, maybe enemies will come. Hashem says, no, I will protect you. You won't have to worry about any attacks. And then Hashem says that we should not own chametz when we slaughter the Korban Pesach. And don't leave any of the leftovers of the Korban Pesach until morning. And on Shavuot holiday, we bring first fruits to the temple. And finally, we have that we should not cook milk and meat together. So a lot of mitzvot are told in this parak, in the middle of the story of Moshe getting the second commandments. And actually, it's very interesting that when Moshe got the second commandments, our rabbis teach us that he even got more mitzvot, more details than by the first commandments. He got many more details. So in a way, it was actually a blessing in disguise that the first tablets were broken, because now Moshe got so many more mitzvot. And Hashem tells Moshe that he must write down the written Torah, but the real contract is with the teachings that are oral, that are taught by heart. And after 40 days and nights, without eating, drinking, or sleeping, Moshe gets the second luchot. These ones he had to carve himself with the writing, and he had to descend from Har Sinai. And because he spent so much time with Hashem, Moshe had a shine, rays of light, beaming from his face. And everybody who saw him, they couldn't stand it, they couldn't look at him. It was so powerful. So Moshe had to put a veil, a mask, over his face, over his, at least his eyes area, that they should not see these beams of light and be scared. And Moshe taught the oral Torah to Aaron and his sons and the elders, and then the Bnei Yisrael. The way Moshe would teach it is first Moshe would come in, sort of like to a classroom, right? Moshe would teach it to Aaron. Then Aaron would sit down, and then Moshe would have the sons of Aaron come in and hear it. They would sit down next to Moshe and Aaron. Then the Zekenim, then the elders would come in, they would hear it, and they would sit down. Then any Jew who wanted would come in to hear it as well. So they heard it over and over, the oral teachings that Hashem gave. And that is the story of getting of the second luchot. And the second luchot came together with a lot of mitzvot to make the Jewish people special, different from all the goyim or the nations that they were going to go live among them.
What is going on over there? This is the mower. The silly story to remember, Perek Lamed Daled. What is a mower doing over here? Well, you see, when Moshe was told to carve the 10 Commandments, it was very hard. So Moshe invented a special mower, that the mower mowed over those tablets. What is going on? And what does a mower have to do with 34? Well, it's a silly story. You see, the M is a 3 flipped on its side, and the vowels don't count, and the W is actually a cousin of the U, which is a vowel, because it's a W, so therefore the W doesn't count either. And then the R is the number 4, because if you remember, 4, F-O-U-R, the fourth letter is an R, and therefore
The 4 is an R. And therefore 34 is mower. Back to the silly story. Woo! And when Moshe finished mowing the tablets, it was a neatly written 10 commandments there with the beautiful writing of the mower which he mowed on them. That's ridiculous. Of course, Moshe had to carve it out by hand, not like the first tablets which were carved by God. And of course, Hashem gave Moshe many mitzvot, such as destroying the idols and not mixing with the idolaters, and keeping all of the festivals, and writing down the Torah and teaching Torah to the Jewish people. And that is the story. Wait a minute. What is about the Moshe's light from his face? Good question. All the Jews were running away from Moshe. Why were they running away? They were running away from the light coming out of his face. No, because Moshe came down from Har Sinai with a lawnmower and he was chasing them. And they were all running. Moshe's got a mower. That's ridiculous. And that's why it's a silly story. Alright everyone, Perek Lamed Hey, that's chapter 35, is coming right up over here. And this is a very special Perek because now the Bnei Yisrael, the Jewish people, bring the materials requested by Hashem, by God, to build the Mishkan. That's right, lots of materials, gold, silver, copper, turquoise wool, and sky blue wool, and all kinds of wonderful products were brought to build the Mishkan. And Moshe assembled the entire nation. It was the day after Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur actually was the day that he came down from Mount Sinai. Everyone knows Yom Kippur is the day when God forgives. But how did that start? Well, it all started by the first Yom Kippur, when Moshe came down from Mount Sinai and he told the Jewish people, God has forgiven you and given you the second set of Luchot. And Moshe warned them, keep Shabbat. We're about to build a Mishkan, don't forget, and therefore we need to make sure that we don't break Shabbat when we make the Mishkan. He told them, don't light any fires on Shabbat. Wherever you live, make sure no fires on Shabbat. Now we can light a fire before Shabbat and have it burning, but don't light the fire on Shabbat. Moshe then told him, okay guys, time to bring the long list of materials to build a Mishkan. And guess what? It was so overwhelming, the people started to bring tons and tons of donations. Eventually, Moshe had to tell them actually to stop, that it was too much. And Moshe appointed Bezalel, the master builder and craftsman, to lead, together with Eliyav, the construction of the Mishkan. What is that? It's me! Max the mule, nay, and I'm here because the Jews are sending donations, nay, in Perek Lamed Hey, that's chapter 35. How does 35? A mule? Well, you see, M is a 3 on its side, and the L, as we know from our silly stories in the past, the L is a number 5, because 5 fingers form an L. There you go. So L is 5, so chapter 35 is mule. What does that have to do with the Jews bringing donations? Well, how do you think they brought the donations? They brought it on mules. So we had a lot of mules. That's why we got to get a lot of mules going on. Here we go, a lot of mules. Let's go, let's get some more mules. All right, mules, let's go, boys. And we're going to bring all the donations to the Mishkan. Let's go, we need a lot of mules. Oh boy, there's so many mules as far as the eye can see. And I see on this mule over here, we have bars of gold for the Mishkan. On this mule over here, we have bars of silver for the Mishkan. And on the next mule, we got copper, plenty of copper, and then we've got red string, and then we've got blue string, and all the different types, and the mules are on their way to the Mishkan. We're going to the Mishkan. That's right, Max the mule and his cousins are bringing all of this stuff, the donations, to the Mishkan. Thank you for watching.